Welcome to the SAIT Autobody AirPro Diagnostics video. In this video, we'll be discussing the two types of scanning that we can do with this tool. The first being the remote assisted scan, the second being the G-Auto powered self-scan. The first step in getting started is to make sure that the tablet is turned on, has adequate battery life, and is connected to Wi-Fi. To log into the Wi-Fi, tap the icon in the bottom right corner of the tablet screen. Select SAIT Secure, enter your SAIT student or employee number, and your SAIT password to log in. On the vehicle, you'll need to connect the DLC connector from the tool to the vehicle. This will be connected to the DLC port, which stands for Data Link Connector. This is usually located under the driver's steering column in the kick panel area. It's also known as the OBD2 port, and of course OBD stands for Onboard Diagnostics. With the DLC connector connected to the vehicle, we can now take the tablet and log in on the login screen by selecting self-scan. The next step is to make sure that the vehicle's battery has adequate charge. You may need to install a battery tender to ensure voltage stays adequate during the scan process. Now you can ensure that the vehicle is KOEO, which stands for Key On, Engine Off. On a vehicle with push button start, with your foot off the brake pedal, you may need to push the start button once or twice to activate this mode. On the tablet, select the Orion button, which will open an internet browser. This is the repair dashboard. It will show all the vehicles currently in the system. Hit Add Repair to add a new vehicle and select VIN number. In the bottom right corner of the tablet, hit the keyboard icon to bring up a keyboard. In the bottom left, you'll see a number tab to bring up a number pad you can enter the VIN number with. I'm entering all ones just as a demo vehicle for the purpose of this video. Once you enter the VIN number, it will decode the VIN and give the info for the vehicle. Here I'm selecting the shop, which is SAIT, and then an insurance company. Now for the school's purposes, there's no insurance work, so it's all customer pay. So select customer pay by scrolling down or entering the letter C and start typing in customer pay, and it will pop up on the screen. Underneath that, we will have other selections to make for this job. For example, we can enter a RO number. So we'll enter a fake RO number for this. Then we'll proceed to enter some more information. So here I'm entering in the mileage of the vehicle. And then I'm selecting some more information. For example, are the airbags deployed? What is the visual deployment of the airbag? For example, I'm going to write down that maybe the driver's airbag is deployed, or maybe it's the only one deployed. Next, I can select some other information. Is the vehicle drivable, as mentioned? Where was the vehicle hit? And then I'm going to hit Create in the bottom corner. This is the screen that will next pop up for requesting the assisted scan. In the top, select the type of scan you're trying to do, for example, a pre-scan. Underneath that, the inspection type stays the same, the inspection scan, and the device stays the same. Underneath that, you have boxes you can select to indicate which warning lights you are seeing on the dash. Underneath that, you can write other warning information that may be pertinent to whoever's diagnosing the vehicle remotely. Now what I'm going to do is enter damage description in this box. So I'm writing in here that it's hit front center. And there's an area in the box below it, or in this box, you can write any other pertinent information to the person who's going to diagnose your scan. For example, I'm going to write in here that the bumper and headlight are removed, since removing those on their own could cause a code to pop up that may not actually be a problem. If there's other damage, for example, a broken wiring harness, things of that nature, please put that information in here. Underneath that, in the contact area, you can select my name since I'm in the system already, or you can put in your own name, so first name and last name, as well as a contact phone number. By putting your phone number in, this will allow the person doing the remote diagnostics to contact you directly on, say, your cell phone, so you can be at the vehicle with your cell phone in case they need to contact you during that process. Hit submit. You'll be back to this screen next, and the request scan icon will change color. After that request scan, you will get an email with all the information. However, coming back to this repair dashboard, there's a lot of really good information that one can find here. After the scan, if you want to see the report other than in the email, select this green button for scan reports. This vehicle has had both the assisted scan and a self scan. So the assisted scan comes up as the inspection scan report. We'll click on this, and then in the lower left hand side of the screen you'll see that it's loading. Once it's loaded, click on it, and here's the scan just as we will have emailed to ourselves. So in here it gives us all the information that the technician noted from the scan. It'll give off any codes. It'll tell us what each control module in the vehicle was showing, if it was good or bad. Where there are codes, it will give you recommendations on how to potentially repair the problem that is detected. And it's a good bit of information for record keeping for yourself, for the customer, and in the case of insurance work, to submit to the insurance company. Underneath that same tab, we can go back, click that same icon again, and now we'll go to the results of the self-scan. And same thing, we'll notice the loading section in the bottom corner of the screen. Once loaded, click on it, it will open up a new tab. And so very similar results from the self-scan. And this will be emailed to yourself as well. Same information as before. However, because it's a self-scan, we won't get any recommendations back from anyone on how to potentially address these repairs. The orange icon will allow you to edit incorrect information or enter missing information. The red icon on the right will be used for billing purposes at the end of the repair. That concludes the basic operation of the assisted scan. Please note that the assisted scan can also allow programming of any body modules. It can allow setup and adjustment of any ADAS system components. However, any use of this assisted system does cost money per use. So please be aware of that, and we'll have to bill the customer accordingly. Now let's get into the self-scan mode. The nice thing with the self-scan mode is there is no fee for us to use this. However, we also lose some of the capabilities of the assisted scan system, but we also have the ability now to take control of some of these systems into our own hands. To enter the self-scan mode, select the G-Auto icon on the tablet and wait for the program to load. Once the program is loaded, we will enter the vehicle's information by selecting the manufacturer, in this case Chevrolet, and then select the Get VIN number. It will get the VIN number from the vehicle's PCM through the DLC connector, and it should decode all the info for the vehicle. Hit Enhanced Powertrain. This will ensure that we get all the correct OEM information rather than just generic information to scan from. Wait for this to load, and then we will select which modules we'd like to scan. Once this is loaded, we're going to select all modules for the purpose of our collision repair. So that's the All button. And then this is going to scan all the modules in the system. If you haven't looked at the screen where my finger was pointing there, it's showing out of 37. So that's telling us that this vehicle has 37 control modules within it. Every one of these 37 control modules can produce their own diagnostic trouble codes. Some of these modules are quite small modules that may control only a very specific section of the vehicle. However, it's very important that we check all of these. A conventional scan tool may only be able to scan 3 modules. For example, the PCM, the ABS system, and then the airbag system. So that leaves a lot of modules that may not be able to be detected and scanned with conventional tool. Knowing that many of these modules may not throw a light on the dash makes it very concerning that some of this damage or some of these problems may not be able to be detected without a proper system such as this. I've fast forwarded through the loading since it can take a while for all the modules to respond. This is the home screen, and if you look in the top right, you'll see the engine light. This will tell us if the engine light is on and allow us to reset the engine light. Before going and erasing any codes, research the code and the potential problem that could cause it and correct it. On the left, we have a listing of all 37 modules and the state they're in. And in this case, there's no problems. If there were codes, it would say that there's a code or a problem in that particular module. I've now selected live data, where I can select up to 8 different functions to read live while the vehicle is running. In this case, I'm just selecting some random functions that will give me readings as to what's going on currently. This next screen is showing me the same functions, but now in a graph form, again while the vehicle is running. This next section is called System Tests. It's an area where we can test certain systems or program certain systems or modules. This is limited on what this software is capable of. However, if there's something we are unable to do from here, in the assisted mode, we are able to have everything programmed remotely. The onboard test results screen gives us a basic summary of some of the functions of the vehicle. This concludes the basic functions of the assisted scan and self-scan with the AirPro diagnostic tool. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. Otherwise, AirPro Diagnostics offers excellent service and support for their equipment. Thank you.